Well, the UConn men's and women's basketball teams are getting ready for the Final Four. We've got crews in Phoenix and Indianapolis to preview the action. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. The UConn women have continued their dominating season, and they're now set to face off against South Carolina in the Final Four tomorrow.
Fox 61's Sean Humphrey gives us a look ahead at their matchup from sunny Phoenix, Arizona.
It's a little bit of calm before the storm here in Phoenix, but the clouds of the Final Four here in sunny Arizona have brought in 4 #1 seeds to vie for the ultimate prize in women's college hoops, and that's the national championship. Of course, UConn, the defending national champions, carry an undefeated record and a 54-game win streak into Phoenix, and they'll have to play South Carolina, whom UConn beat in the Final Four and in the national championship game last year, an 82-59 victory in Paige Becker's final college game in Tampa. Of course, South Carolina is going to be looking for revenge, and UConn wants to prove it still is the top dog as it has been over the course of the season, the tournament's #1 overall seed. We got to see both teams practice, and I got to tell you, UConn great Rebecca Lobo is absolutely stoked for this matchup. You'll hear our conversation with her tomorrow on Connecticut Game Week. But for now, from Mortgage Matchup Center in Phoenix, Sean Humphrey, Fox 61 Sports.
Thank you, Sean. Well, there's a big honor coming for UConn Sarah Strong. She has been named the Associated Press Women's Basketball Player of the Year. The sophomore helped lead the Huskies to an undefeated season. She averaged 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals per game. She's just the 5th sophomore to win the award and joins UConn legends Maya Moore and Brianna Stewart. She's also the 13th Husky to earn the honor. We've got around 48 hours until the men's team tips off against the Illinois Fighting Illini.
Now, this game comes after an incredible comeback against the Duke Blue Devils on Sunday. Fox 61's Alexa Harley gives us a preview of the men's matchup from Indianapolis.
Yeah, Dan Hurley and I are practically 2 peas in a pod because I, too, have been living out of my suitcase. I took everything out when I got back from D.C., washed it, threw it back in, which is exactly what head coach Dan Hurley did as well. So we're basically the same, but we are here in Indianapolis, and it is cause for celebration. The Huskies are back in the Final Four for the 3rd time in the past 4 seasons, but that's not enough to celebrate because head coach Dan Hurley did say on Thursday that they do not hang banners for Final Four appearances, only national titles. In order to get that, they're going to need to be at full strength. So Hurley has been giving us injury updates all week, but we did get to talk to one guy who's been battling an injury all tournament long, and that's Silas Demery Jr. He's been battling a high ankle sprain, paying through a lot of pain in this tournament, and you wouldn't know by the way that he is playing. He was the guy that had that clutch block against Duke in the Elite Eight that got the ball free, eventually make its way to Mullins, and then of course the rest was history. Now Demery Jr. said on Thursday that he is feeling about 90%, which is pretty good considering how much pain he has been in during this tournament. So we'll see what he looks like as we approach that Final Four meeting on Saturday. Now, Coach Hurley also added to the fact that last time UConn played Illinois back in November, the Huskies got the win, and they did it with an injured roster. So he's feeling good about how that team's health is right now as they await that rematch in the Final Four. That game is set for Saturday at 6:09 p.m. Now, make sure you tune into Connecticut Game Week on Friday right here on Fox 61 at 5 p.m. Sean and I will bring you a deep dive between both the men's and women's NCAA tournament journeys from Phoenix and, of course, from Indianapolis. Inside Lucas Oil Stadium, Alexa Harley, Fox 61 Sports.
All right, Alexa, thank you. And just to pick up where Alexa left off there to get you ready for the big games, our Connecticut Game Week team will have a special show this week. Join Alexa and Sean along with Husky legend Rebecca Lobo, all live tomorrow at 5 p.m. on Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus.
We went from 70s yesterday to 40s today, so quite a difference. But this is really the coldest day of the week, and temperatures will already be rebounding tomorrow. Even tonight, it is up to 15 degrees cooler than it was at this time yesterday. Here's a look at the numbers, 30s to right around 40 degrees. It just feels raw compared to what we were dealing with, just yesterday, 2 days ago even. Here's a look at the radar, and you'll see there's nothing showing up, but there could be areas of mist or drizzle as we head through the overnight hours. Temperatures will stay above freezing, though, and there is a chance for an early shower or sprinkle right around or just before daybreak tomorrow. Otherwise, we're looking at a cloudy, chilly start, but heading into the afternoon, those temperatures will be rebounding into the mid and even upper 50s. A little bit of brightening or some sunshine, especially as we head towards the end of the day and into the early evening before the sun sets. And those temperatures will continue to climb this weekend, but we do have some rain for Easter. We'll talk about it. Your full forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. A man's been arrested after a deadly shooting in New London. This is video from the scene on Connecticut Avenue in February. That's where 42-year-old Gregory Williams was killed. Police say 22-year-old Takit Scott is charged with murder and multiple firearms offenses. The investigation is still ongoing.
Also in New London, 2 men are under arrest. Police say they were caught with guns after a police chase. Officers responded to the area of Laurel Drive and Coleman Street just before 5 Wednesday afternoon for a report of suspicious people. And when police arrived, they say a small group of men ran off. Police say 2 of those men were found to be in possession of firearms.
The Inspector General says 3 Hartford police officers were justified in the shooting death of William Bowen last year. The report states on March 6th, Bowen was streaming on Instagram Live and had 2 guns. Police caught up to him on Homestead Avenue. When officers got there, investigators say Bowen pointed a gun at them. Officer Robert Bohm and Detective Benjamin Lee fired multiple times. Police say Bowen then ran off and tossed out 2 firearms, but the report notes the officers didn't know that he threw them away. They kept chasing him around the corner to Magnolia Street, where investigators say Bowen ran toward Detective Joseph Walsh while holding his phone. Body camera video shows Walsh ordering him to drop the gun. Walsh then fired 4 shots, hitting Bowen, who was pronounced dead at the scene.
A West Haven man will spend years in prison after being convicted of a shooting in New Haven. Prosecutors say 34-year-old Kyle Thomas was sentenced to 16 years in prison, followed by 12 years of special parole. That sentence will run on top of a 7-year term he is already serving for a separate firearm case. And police say in December of 2024, after a domestic dispute, Thomas returned to a home with an assault-style rifle and fired more than 30 rounds into the house.
Hartford police are investigating a stabbing on South Marshall Street. Officers responded just before 11 in the morning. The victim is expected to recover. Police say a knife was found at the scene, and they searched for a male suspect who was known to them and who may be on probation or parole.
And we have a new development tonight in a 2023 Hartford homicide case. The man accused of shooting and killing 18-year-old Julius Rivera is rejecting a plea deal and will go to trial. Police say Luis LaBoy is accused of killing Rivera outside a convenience store on Broad Street. He was arrested in 2024 and charged with murder, unlawful discharge of a firearm, and criminal possession of a firearm. Prosecutors offered a plea deal that would have sent him to prison for 30 years, but he declined. He also rejected an earlier offer of 38 to 40 years. If convicted at trial, LaBoy could face up to 60 years in prison. A New Haven man has been found guilty of sexually assaulting a minor. Prosecutors say 26-year-old Luis Silva was convicted, by a jury on March 31st, of first-degree sexual assault and risk of injury to a minor. Evidence presented at trial showed Silva repeatedly assaulted the victim while she was under the age of 13. Sentencing is scheduled for June 5th.